Hi, it's Cindy A. Lewis, and today I'm going to show you my fall-themed week spread. So I'm pulling out my pages, a little behind on my designing here, but you can see. So I'm pulling out my pages, and I am going to use the Avery shipping label full sheets to help cover up the lines on my pages that I don't want to show through. It's an easy, quick way, and you can just cut it the size you want. Next, I'm showing you that I'm using the window clings that are fall themed from the Dollar Tree as a design artwork. I'm using some coordinating washi that I had on hand. I may or may not use these tools, but I always get out my punches, my hole punch from Martha Stewart, which is a really strong punch, but I don't have to use a lot of strength. It's kind of cool, and it goes through a lot of sheets. I have out my double stick tape and my Autumn Dream paper pad. The double stick tape is from Basic, and it is very strong. It's great when you want to make pockets on your pages. Autumn Dream has some beautiful pages, and I am going to use a couple of sheets out of there.
Okay, so first I set my papers down and I secure them with some washi tape. And I chose, as you will see, I chose some papers to go along with the theme for autumn. And I also chose the page that has some of the journaling cards to match the theme. So I'm just going through the paper pad here and selecting the ones that I wanted to use. So you can see the journaling cards here that I'm going to cut some out for. And I selected this autumn scene. It's really pretty, this page. And the flowers that have the autumn colors. Now, as you know, I usually have my pages sectioned, like what I do personally, what I do for work, and what I do for the church that I do things with. And so I'm just showing you on the page how I'm thinking of different design. Don't have it really totally all planned out on my page till I kind of start laying things down to see how they're going to look. So I think I'm going to start with this fall flower page and create a sidebar here. So I'm going to cut that sidebar, and I wanted to see exactly what I wanted, so I cut it about 2 inches by 11 since I have the large and I'm going to the large planner, and I'm going to make a tuck spot for something if I need it. I'm also using the cocoa dye ink pad and my homemade blending tool to create an aged look to my papers because I want to give the vintage look to the page. So here I'm just blending some color onto the edges, and it turns out really, really cute. So you can see how that looks. I'm going to put it down with some of the basic double stick tape on 3 sides, the top, the back, and the bottom. Then I can tuck paper or receipts or any notes that I need into that tuck spot. You can see here I'm just pulling the double stick tape off so that I can adhere it to the page. Now that I've got it adhered to the page, you can see I have a tuck spot here, and I really like that look. Now I'm trying to decide exactly what I want to do, and I'm measuring just to make sure I have my weekend that I'm going to cut out of this beautiful autumn scene paper. And I selected this side with the trees, and it is covering 2 spaces from the top of the planning squares to the bottom of the page. So it's a little less than 11 inches, but it's about 4 inches wide. So I'm going to adhere that, and then I can write on it or I can adhere journaling cards, as you will see later. So I'm just going to put that down now. Okay, now you can adhere any of your papers to your planning pages with whichever adhesive that you prefer. Now I'm showing you that I'm measuring for my pocket that I am going to put on the bottom of the page to collect pictures, receipts, memories, anything like that. And it's going to cover 2 spaces. And I am going to cut out some paper and put some hinges, if you will, on the sides in order to allow my pocket to open more freely and allow me to insert more paper into it than if it was adhered just against the page, which would really only allow for maybe 1 to 2 sheets or tags or papers or receipts or photos. So I'm taking this paper that I cut about 1.5 inches, and I kind of wish I had cut it a little bit wider to make a full W, but you can see what I'm doing here, folding it into 3s so that I can adhere it to the back of the pocket and then adhere it to the page. Now I'm going to make sure that is exactly the size of the pocket, and then I'm going to adhere it with the double stick tape. Now I prefer the double stick tape because it is very strong and will allow me to open and close that pocket in order to stay connected to the page really well. You can use other adhesives and you can use whatever you enjoy using and you have tried. I really do prefer the basic double stick tape though. It works really well. Okay, I cut those down, adding my double stick tape to my side expanders, if you will. And I'm going to just give this pocket a little aged look with my homemade blending tool and the cocoa dye ink pad again. Now I did pick up this dye ink from Tuesday Morning, and you can look there. It runs about $1.99 per pad, and I have been using this pad for quite some time to make my pages look more vintage and aged, and I really like it. My blending tool is homemade from the Dollar Tree. So you will see, I will put down below what I used to create that. And I'll just tell you really quickly, I buy some little pieces of felt that is for furniture, and I used an old pill bottle. It works really great. It's inexpensive. You can buy a blending tool if you want to, but I didn't have one, and I just thought, well, I'll just make one myself. So now you can see I've added my side panel expanders, if you will, and I'm adding some double stick tape to the bottom of my pocket, and I will put that on my page in the video here just a second. Okay, so double stick tape, I just want to mention again that the double stick tape works really well and it can last a very long time. One roll of double stick tape can do many projects. So I'm pulling off the double stick tape cover so that I can adhere that to the pocket to the page, and you can see what it looks like right here. I think it's adorable. So now I'm trying to decide exactly what I want everything else to look like, and I do need to cover these blue lines because they absolutely do not go with this theme. So I'm cutting some strips from this shipping label page, and I'm just going to cover those blue lines with the pieces that I cut out. And it's really easy. If you have the shipping labels, you can also use paper and copy paper and just adhere it to the page to cover the lines. You can also use anything that would be a good thick ability to cover lines that you're trying to eliminate from peeking through washi or anything else that's on your page. So you can see here I did that and it looks totally different. Also, I'm adhering some of the landscape of the trees paper to the bottom of my page on the left there. And I'm just going to use a little bit of stick glue to put that on right there. So it looks really cute. This page turned out really nicely. Okay, so the next thing that I am looking at is what do I want for the pocket and what do I want to put on my panel for the weekend. So I'm going to cut out a journaling card from the other page that I selected from the Autumn Dream paper booklet, and I'm going to trim it to fit in that space with the lines so that I can write on it. And I have to check it out and kind of see what do I like, what do I not like, where do I like how it looks. I don't always have an exact plan, as you can tell, but I like to play around with the papers, see how they look, what is the best for how the page is actually coming together. So I trim this journaling card up a little bit and I can put it right on the page for my weekend notes. Now I do have some of this orange and yellowish colored washi, and I decided to use it because it pulls out the color of the paper flowers a little bit and it kind of blends. Everything does not have to match totally. Of course, this is your world that you're creating and you can make it whatever you want. Don't let anyone tell you that this doesn't look right or that doesn't look right, because you can create whatever your heart desires to create. So I am adding this little bit of color on the separations between the sections, and I think it turns out really cute. Okay, as I finish adhering the washi here, I just want to say that I think that my page turned out really nicely and I'm happy with it. So if you're happy with it, don't let anyone tell you differently. I did put a little washi behind the pocket just so that everything did go together for me. So now I'm finished with that. I've got my sections off. I'm going to trim up and make sure I got everything lined up properly. So I take the washi off. I trim up the washi at the top as well, just to make sure that the pages are, the washi matches up to the paper. Okay. So now I have the window clings from the Dollar Tree that are the pumpkins and everything. Now window clings will stick to the paper, but I do advise adding a little bit of stick glue just to make sure that they don't move around and fall off. So I play with the window clings a little bit just to see what's the best. Okay, so the other thing that I did after I added my window clings is I used this orange Sharpie that you see to draw lines to separate the days. Also put a little piece of journaling card on my left panel for my tuck spot. Now I'm using the Dilutions planner stickers and I'm going to add October to the top of my page. So I'll look at the different sizes and decide that this is the one that really would fit the best. They do have a bigger one in this sticker pad, but it's a little bit too big. Designing is a process. You just have to see what you like and how everything fits together. So here I've chosen the October from the Dilutions paper planner stickers, and I am just going to adhere that to the top of the left-hand corner of my tuck spot. So my little panel looks very cute and it's coming together. So now you can see the page is pretty much put together. I am just figuring out what I want to do with the numbers. I'm not sure at the top of the page what I want to do. I'm also going to make sure that I have a few little planner stickers in here, like to do or important or whatever else that I need for the week. And you can do that also. You can even write it in with a Sharpie or a pen. However you like to do that. You can print it out from your computer and you can add whatever words that you like. So I'm showing you here how the page is looking, and I'm taking the papers off and I'm going to cut them apart and we will put them in the planner. Now, as I add them to my planner, I'm looking at those numbers like I mentioned, and I just want to see, okay, what looks the best for the numbers. Have my pocket, have my tuck spot, and I really enjoy just decorating, and it makes me happy when I look at my page in my planner. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you, and till next time.